And pop. I saw you on the Outward Reddit. On, like, the content creators channel. That's where I saw you clockwork. I thought about it, but also I'm fairly new to that community, so I don't just want to spam a link, you know? I mean, I could, but I don't know. I feel like I should be in a community longer before I start doing something like that. You know what I mean? Alright, okay. Let me grab my link. I appreciate it. Okay. Content creators. Boop. And there we go. The deed is done. There's always folks like that in pretty much any place that you tend to go to. It doesn't bother me any. Get that affiliate, huh? I mean, it would be super cool, but I'm here to just sort of hang out and have some fun. It's neat. Hoity-toity, huh? Like, I'm. let me concentrate here for a second. I'm an influencer. I like your channel setup too, Clockwork. I watched a couple of your VODs. Validated. That's a rite of passage, isn't it? Getting validated on Twitters. Hey man, I'm using basically a canned. This is one of the default themes on Streamlabs that I'm using. If it works, it works. Also, I should scoot myself over a little bit so you can actually see my health bar. Like, I'm pretty satisfied with the one I found. It's pretty nondescript, by and large, for what's going on with it. And it's in the colors that I like, so... It can be kind of hard. Cool. What are you gonna go with? What kind of, you gonna go with something normal? Because there's plenty of, just straight up human VTubers and stuff like that, too. It can. Something that I might do either next week or tomorrow is I'm gonna actually start doing some better tracking and stuff, too. Like, I am able to move my hand a little bit on this one, but the face tracking isn't good. So I've been experimenting with something that's going to make that a little bit better. Respectable. A nice Mr. Top Hat kind of fella. I like it. If you do end up making a VTuber model, tell me and get on Twitter. There's actually a pretty robust community there. Do recommend. Every little bit better is basically a step forward. What happened to your Twitter, Clockwork? Oh, also, if you hear any feedback or if my voice is particularly low, tell me. I'm trying a new thing with my mic, too. But yeah, what happened with your Twitter, Clockwork? Okay, fair enough. I ended up making a new one for the avatar and all that. I wasn't ever really on the other one, but eh. And by the by, Bendy, it's not an intensive amount of work, but refining it is going to take a very long time, I think. Good. I'm glad. Well, I do want to finish it. Like maybe different clothing and stuff like that, but I need to finish or reach a finished state. It's like I am making this little poppet, but I know what I look like. I just have to make it look more like me. And I suppose I could, hire someone to make a super cool one for me, but eh, I don't know if I'll do that. Yeah, you can definitely get a basic one up in a week or two. A lot of the VTuber community like to do things like debuts and whatnot, like have it run and walk around and be a thing for a good long time before they actually launch it, which is fine, but I kind of just dove headfirst into it. Heck it. You say that, but like a fully made 3D and rigged model is gonna run at least a few $100s, and if you want a good one, it's gonna be more around 2 to 3K. If it works, it works. Sugar.
Want to buy something?
Mm-hmm. I agree with that, Bendy.
How can I help you?
Those. Yeah, you said you were working on a support build last time you were here, right? Monster Slayers. Pretty much the worst thing I've run across is the Wendigo inside one of the bandit camps in Chersonese and Burning Men under the tree. I got a little cocky with them because it was raining whenever I fought the first few of them, but then it stopped raining and one got a burning hands off. Oh yeah, I imagine. I'm barely scratching the surface right now. But I'll get them. Yeah, scratch the surface, Mog. Okay. Take a quick drink. Howdy, Ochi. Or Ocha Doji. There we go. If I could talk today. I don't know if there is a dragon in here, Bendy, but I can tell you almost certainly I'm not equipped to fight it. How are you tonight, Ochi Doji? Sounds about right. Yeah, I've seen quite a few of those dead things around. I kind of figured. You think you're stealthy, Fifi. Eh, I kind of expected that. I wanted to suspend my own disbelief and say that they were all dead. I'd never have to deal with them. Okay. I was trying to get a look at that camp and that temple on the south. Great. I'm going to be honest, I do not look forward to fighting anything larger than myself. I did clear out, at least I think I cleared out. There was like a dungeon underneath a vigil pylon in this zone, and it had quite a bit of shiny stuff. First off, I've already got the DLCs. Okay, that's a little weird. I haven't run into that particular graphical glitch so far. Um, so I don't know exactly how big the map is, but you've got this zone, and the time since I've left the city, I'm right about here. You sure there's only 4? Because we got Chersonese, we got this one, we've got the Hallowed Marsh, the Caldera, and Abrasar at the very least. Hey man, I was gonna believe you. Visual pylon, we're gonna go around, so I'm southwest now. No more tired brain. Leafy's here, he's not tired, no excuses. Share with the class, Thiefy. Nah, that's just weakness leaving your body. It's fine. The heartburn comes last. You have to suffer through it. I don't tend to either. Oh, that was loaded. Oh well. I do that at least once every stream. Ow. Ow. This again. Oh. Ow. It's a super deer. Or whatever. West, west. I'm right there. So, just southwest. Yeah. I'm currently a very low-tier adventurer, though, so... But I wanted that alpha meat, so... I appreciate it, Clockwork. I haven't gotten stuck or anything yet. But I'm still basically just adventuring through the basic areas, so... We'll see. It seems like there's a lot of depth to it, which I appreciate. I like getting lost, honestly. Though it's fairly easy so far to keep my bearings in the world. There's enough landmarks that you just gotta pay attention to your map a little bit. Which is cool. Oh, hey, Spicer. Welcome. Your brain won't let you get lost, though. What do you mean? It's a fairly handy thing to have pre-installed. See if I can remember this. Yeah, alright. That's a really good, I would almost call it a superpower. What the heck are you? I'm not gonna take a chance, whatever you are. Come on. Sort of figured. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Use your thing. Use it again. Ugh. Gross. But Thiefy does that a lot. Now, yeah, Spicer, I basically just started playing this on my stream, essentially. It's my first actual playthrough outward. I played it a little bit on console, but never actually got any further than Chersonese. I think he's probably played outward a little bit, yeah. Just a little bit, though. 800 little bits. Mm-hmm. Like, don't get me wrong, it does have some rough edges, but it's not so much that it's unfinished or something like that, more so that focus was given to different parts of the design. There's a lot of deep sort of mechanics in it, but like for instance, you can't mantle over things. There's no jumping. It's like quality of life stuff people are so used to. hmm Now imagine an Outward 2 that had a decent budget, a decent development team size, and was able to include a lot of those sort of quality of life upgrades in addition to what we already have here. Delicious, tasty, nutritious. Like, in a lot of ways, Outward is what I want to see from something like Skyrim. Sell that. Put that down for linen. I'll take another water skin, sure. Swords worth 6 silver. Sure, unless I find something better. Okay, so I'm right here. North is the Wind Temple. A lot of those things wandering about. That's fine. Yeah, the combat's a little bit janky, but I mean, it's basically Souls combat. I'm on your side there, Bendy. It's just like Skyrim. I could come to come back to that example. Good game. Not a lot of depth to it, in my opinion. Stuff like that is fixed significantly by mods. It had a lot of lore, but really, and it comes down to it, a lot of your options were just basic. There was a whole bunch of empty wilderness. The RPG elements in Skyrim were more than lacking. As a suggestion, anybody here, if you have Skyrim, get the Enderroll Total Conversion mod and play it. Ah, delicious. Noits is great. Hyperlight Drifter is great. Dark Souls 2 is great. Dark Souls 3 was a departure from 1 and 2 in a way that I did not like. You never stop modding Skyrim. You never stop modding Skyrim. There's no finished state. And like, Dark Souls 3 is good, Mog. Like, it's a decent game. But compared to 1 and 2, it's shallower, in my opinion. Could have been better. If they had combined the elements of 1 and 2, would have been good. When your mod folder is bigger than the actual game file. Mood. RimWorld, fantastic. Also a game that never actually stops being modded. A large part of... Did somebody see Dragon's Dogma? Clockwork. Clockwork, you're a man after my own heart. Man, woman, I don't care. I love you. Dragon's Dogma? Fever dreams of waking up one day and having an actual new cool Dragon's Dogma 2. Dude, Spicer, you really have to try Dogma. That I know there. I've heard the whispers, Thiefy. I've heard the whispers. I know what you're talking about. Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope again. Don't. Another Rising game will be pretty cool too. This is gonna sound silly, but I want another Revengeance game too. Revengeance was rad. Right? I don't know. Wait, Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Yeah, I don't know why I separated those two in my mind. I've always known that particular game as just Revengeance, which is fine with me. Again, modders just coming in hot with some of the best stuff. Oh wait. Ah, now I'm excited to see. I forget. Does Outward even have modding tools? I don't believe it does it? Cool. Okay, fair. fair enough. Yeah, I saw there was some talk about it in the Discord, which is pretty cool. Why am I cold? Heck you. Right as I got warm, too. Protects against the cold. Cures the common cold. Okay, that's pretty rad. First off, Spicer. How did you get it to balance for more players? More enemies, or... You immediately have Clockwork's attention. Hmm? The heck is that? Yeah, we're not gonna fight fair for him. He's got an actual weapon and isn't some weird dog creature. I had enough trouble with those. Heck yeah, do Dogma. If you decide to do Dogma, I'll probably do Dogma as well. We can use each other's pawns. Yeah, lower stam regen. Gross. I'm not fighting fair. I'm not fighting fair. Nope, 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 nope. Same. I first got it on the 362. Fantastic game. 10 out of 10. Me. You still there? Yeah, you are. Yeah, Thiefy is a big YouTuber boy too. Do recommend watching his videos. He does a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, I kind of figured. Thank you for that, Spicer. I'm gonna do my level best to not have to lay a hand on him, though. And your montages are pretty good too, Mog. The Immaculate, huh? That doesn't sound like something I should be fighting right now. I'm not gonna leave, though. That's, that's really not comforting. This is the first time I've used them majorly. I have a gun, Clockwork. But yeah, this is the first time I've used traps majorly in the entire playthrough, Potent. Bap, bap. That was the plan. That was absolutely the plan. I've got a bleed trap set up near the front of that stack. Don't have anything for burning, though. Oh, wait, but that's fine. Not loaded. Didn't know that. Oh well. Youch. We're going this way. Oh man, he's real durable, isn't he? You still fighting? Okay. Is that a shield? That's just mean. Oh, that's not good. That's fair. Yeah, you're right on me. Stamina. Oh. Do 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 do. Need the stamina. Boot do 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 do. Oh boy. Still coming? Yeah, you are. I don't have any of that. Plus, I've actually got a cold, so Nope, nope, nope. Can't break out of that. Why? You're bleeding. You're bleeding. You're bleeding. And you're dead. Whew. Alright. Victory! I don't have a soundtrack on me. Hi, Kami. Phew. Money dungeon. I like money. Silver. I actually need a drink after that. My mouth got dry. Phew. Yeah, I'll take those. Why can't I pick up your weapon? I want your weapon. That's just lame. Wow, 1,000 silver? Okay, I'm interested. Warm and okay. First thing. I don't know what a shell horror is, but I bet it's going to be a bit more of a problem. Thanks, Clockwork. I adore your confidence in me. Oh, this is gonna suck, isn't it? Hmm. One of those things again, of course. That's fair. Yeet, yeet. I'm guessing that was one of the big guys. I mean, I beat the Immaculate. Surely there's nothing that dangerous in here. It's always a little bit unsettling when people are like, yeah, you about that lever? Yeah, that one? Uh-oh. Hmm. Yeah, beyond me. I don't have enough stuff for that. I need some sort of, I'm not pulling that lever. I feel like that's a terrible idea. At least not yet. Well, I would very much like to get the halberd. I don't think I have the equipment to really deal with that. I'm still using half plate. I feel like it's a trap too, Kami. I think Kami might be right. Hmm. No, I don't want to pull the lever, Kami. No. I'm fragile. Normally, I wouldn't run from a fight, but honestly, with how many hits the little fellows were taking me, I don't think I could have handled something bigger. Ooh. I mean, I also want to see what happens when I pull the lever, but I want to survive it too. I've got to learn good habits because when I actually get down to it, yeah, sometimes you just got to run from a fight. No, I don't want to die. Please. I'm very fragile. Sad. Mm, sure, why not? Did make a decent little bit of monies. No! Clockwork, you traitor. And Burkar's treated me pretty well so far. Yeah, certainly within this game, caution is paramount. I am planning on doing a hardcore character too, and trying to incorporate like some chat stuff with it at some point, maybe. Like maybe a chat thing where you could have just, yeah, stay there and fight those things. Nope. I kind of figured. Hey, it's a luck of the draw. I think I would try and, I'm not sure if there's an integration for it on Outward, but I would basically make, if I do hit affiliate with it, I would put like channel points, and I could have a set of redeems basically set for Outward. Channel points don't cause you, like, you don't have to spend anything to use them, and you can save up, like, Auri has to do this, or Auri has to actually fight when you say fight. Stuff like that. Which, honestly, is fun. I've still got a little ways to go, Mog, but I'm hoping so. Co-op hardcore around Clockwork? Mm. E. No. Come on. Whack. So, Twitch has a couple of things that count for affiliate, but basically I fulfilled all those criterias except followers. I'm at 36 and I need 50. And that's okay, Mog. We could straight up just have a community day where there's a whole bunch with that raid mod. It'd be kind of neat. Thanks, Spicer. I appreciate it. I really do, really do. Mods are awesome. Any game that allows mods is usually almost universally improved by that fact. Like, how long has Skyrim been out? And still going strong. And certainly not because of anything Bethesda has really done for it. Oh god. You have to kill the quest NPC, huh? You gonna kill the quest NPC? I tend, if I don't stop myself, mods go super far. Like, before I stopped modding it, my Skyrim folder was like a solid 30, 40 gigs of just mods, not the game itself. Ooh, plate armor. Sure. How heavy am I now, though? But hey, new boots. That club's worth quite a bit. I can use that to make something, I remember that. Yeah, that's fine. I tend to stream every weekday at 8 p.m. Central. So I could have separate save files. Yeah, I can see that working. Although if we do it on a Friday, it may not be every Friday. I do actually sometimes take Fridays off, and I will go do a game night where we play a tabletop with some of my friends. Not streamed, but it's a thing we've been doing for a long, long time. Yee! Feel free to stop by whenever, Spicer. I don't mind. Do you have any suggestions or things that you want me to change to? There's a suggestion box, I believe. Or if not, just tell me. Maybe the widget for the suggestion box broke. Saturday is absolutely free. I know that much. I try not to do... Like, I do a whole bunch of streams on the weekdays. Saturday, I have free to do whatever I want. Mm, not targetable. Okay. Yeah, I think Saturday would be fun. We'll hash out the details and stuff another time, but I'm fine with that. Works out for me. It's neat. Yeah. Okay. So not all Immaculates are going to try and kill me. That's nice. Hmm. I'm not going to call him a monster. He's obviously sapient and sentient and whatnot. Alright. Nah, that's his, so I'm not gonna touch that. A bass boosted. Nope. No more talking from me. That was neat, though. I like meeting NPCs like that sort of subvert what you were looking for. Like, I literally just fought one. Okay, that makes sense. So if he's in every region, I'm guessing the caves that he picks are around that stuff. Seems like a nice dude. I don't know if I've been missing it, but are there like lore books and stuff? Like, I'd like to know what an immaculate is. Hey, no worries, Clockwork. Have a good rest of your night and get some rest, okay? Feel free to drop by whenever, buddy. It's nice meeting you and seeing you every time. That's good to know. I kind of just went AWOL a little bit. Story. Yeah. I'm still doing that. I haven't actually done any of the story. I just kind of left Sierzo. Hey, good call, Mog. Mog coming in with the hard reads. Well done. Dude, Challenge Showdown was cool. The beans. A cowardly nerd spirit animal, huh? Beans are, in fact, the apex vegetable? Or are beans technically a different catalog? I'm pretty sure they're still a vegetable, right? Yes, the Bean's voice is great. Okay, that should be easy enough. Okay. Man, it can get unsettlingly quiet quickly in this game. Mm-hmm. I'll halberd him. He might pop out, and he still might kill me. I'm just an idiot with a stick, but I will stab him at least once. I was actually surprised about the music. It's pretty decent. It's obviously where all the a lot of the development time and the care went into it, though. Music and sound ambiance is probably where they would try to improve it. Tristan Ace's music is really good. Uh, I bet that's one of the places they would try to improve things. They'd have better sound and ambience and all that jazz and improve all the mechanics and whatnot. Get you a sandwich, Mog. That reminds me too. I've almost got the. I think I found a decently working PS2 emulator. I'll have to ask Miss Louie when she wants to see Fatal Frame. See, I think what they set out to do in this game is to make an adventure simulator. And they did that. They did it well. If there were hardly any other. I don't know why the cities always do this. Sorry if you have any, weirdness. Yep.
This worries me.
Don't need that. Don't need those. Need that. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be what they set out to do. They did it. They did their thing. Now, if they had a bunch more monies and time, just imagine what kind of crap they could get up to then. What you thinking about, Bendy? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is an absolute ton of work as well.
Hey there.
What can I do? Listen.
2 coders. I wonder what makes PS2 emulation so much more janky than
This worries me.
like PS1 emulation. Damn. It's aight. No worries. I'll let you know if I find one that actually works. I've got iOS, a fellow who drops by here every once in a while. He sent me a couple of them that might work. Mm, mm, mm.
This worries me.
What's that? So you kind of have to pick and choose and find one that'll actually play nice. You've got plenty of an attention span, Bendy. You know you do. Sly 2 was my jam when I was little. Sly 2 is great.
Hey
As
there.
if. You still can't get Sony to do crossplay. Yeet. Look at that. Look at that adventurer.
Hey there.
I keep that and that. Yeah. This is a good set. I like this set.
How are you?
Thank you, ASMR old lady. Phew! It almost scared me.
Need a place to sleep. Listen close.
Quit it. But I like this helmet. I found this one on the ground. That means it's mine. Nah. I got a couple friends with antlers. Not my thing. Really? What do you mean by good rolls?
How can I help you?
Huh. Alright, that's kind of cool. Okay, that's neat. Kind of like that armor set, too. That dude. I think I'm gonna take a trip back. I kind of figured you'd know that, Spicer. I think I'm gonna take a trip back to Trisonice because I got a tiny aquamarine and I remember a door that I can open with that. But also, Bendy, Fashion Souls. Fashion Souls! Okay, so we are here. Just needs to just follow the road. Easy peasy. The first one is a tiny aquamarine, so I did not use another gem yet, no. Well, at least it'll be an opportunity for me to figure out what other gem I need and actually progress the main story. What there be of it. Feels so durable now. Probably not terribly more durable than I was, but I feel it. I have not found an emerald yet, but the Sorbonne merchant was selling one for 300 silver. Or something like that. I'll remember that, though. An emerald. Honestly, I was ecstatic when I found the Prospector's backpack. Oh, trust me, I know about the elemental damage part. I did most of the time when I was able to engage, like those mantis shrimp, I had a elemental resistance potion. I need to learn a little bit more about alchemy in the game so I can make my own potions. $25 a pop is a little rich for my blood for a life potion. I think I have the recipe for a life potion. I can't look at that unless I put down my words. I'd imagine so. You can make an ice rag with linen and seaweed, can't you? Okay, so I've got a question for you, Spicer. That dungeon underneath the vigil pylon here, I cleared out all the ghosts, but there's some sort of like fire thing at the end of it. And while I cleared out all the ghosts, I was still hearing something there, but I couldn't determine what it was or how to interact with it. Did I miss something? I didn't know it was a portal. Huh. Okay. Do I want to try and go back there before I go to Chersonese? Yeah, I do. Because I found quite a bit of nice, shiny stuff in there. I wonder if I missed something with that dungeon then. Is it... I am fairly tough now. Mm, the ghosts were a little bit of a problem when I was there last. Okay, yeah, never mind. I don't have any resistance against that. I think with that information in my pocket, I'll probably source another elemental resistance potion. And then I'll try that. Though, another question. Can you splash water on yourself in some way? Because as it started raining, I know I have 25% fire resistance or something like that right now because it's raining. And that seems like a very outward sort of thing. Drink water or get rained on. I don't think I've been set on fire yet, so that's good. Oh no, wait, I totally have. The Burning Men. Okay, we're gonna let that go then. No thank you. Man, you're durable. I forgot to actually put any magic on my stick. Yeet, 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 yeet. I'm working on it. Well, I'm gonna beat this ghost to death with a stick. So, ow. Alright. It turns out you can kill a ghost if you just hit it enough times. With what to the ghost is basically a blunt object. Remember, kids, violence works every time. It's fine. Okay, Kami. Sleep well. Welcome back, Mog. I will. Probably. I get occupied with, like, doing stuff. Do you mean mental pain? As in the throes of a prolonged combat? Or is that a status effect that I'm unaware of? And yes, I will go hug my cats whenever it's time to sleep. We're an HP. Got a bolt rag. Night night. I got some stuff for it. It seems like the varnish is just an exceptionally powerful version of like a rag or something, isn't it? That guy. Lots of mana stones. Okay. Blinded by the light. Hey, buddy. You might not bleed, but I'm still gonna kill you. I think you'll really like it, Mog. Friend or foe? Quit that. Eh. Phew. Like I said, it has some jank to it, but cool. Congratulations on your acquisition. Hey, Spicer, so I'll go ahead and give you permission. Anytime I stream outward, feel free to be a font of information. I don't mind at all. You have permission to speak on outward and anything else you want to. Ooh, special item. I I want all of those things. Good. I like learning about games that I play. I really like learning about games that I play. And honestly, I like learning about games that I don't play. Yeah, I saw the lever over there. I appreciate that. Wait. This lever, does it unlock the thing? It's like a little dungeon underneath a tree on the center island. Hey! I have a pretty good memory too. I think I hit that place in the last stream, actually. That's not a bad thing. Not bad at all. Okay, so... I suppose that it can probably get on some folks' nerves, but... I mean, that's only if... Stuff like that, I'm perfectly fine with. Plus, here's a big thing about it too, Spicer. You're nice and you seem nice about it. So I have utterly no problem with that. That's literally just talking about something that you like. Those are the times of folks who kind of give it I guess, a bad reputation, I suppose. But it's not always like a bad thing at all. It's like the difference between like a normal D&D player who's trying to go by the rules and a rules lawyer. Mm-hmm. Actually, like the last campaign that I was a part of, I'm running one right now. That's why I have to make sure to be there on every Friday we do game night. My character died. It was a completely in-character decision. She almost made it, but big sad. But that's part of it too. If you roll with a character and roll with a character like that and they do die, it hits. Yeah, go on, Mog. It depends on your DM. So, by the book, generally, if your character goes down, fails all their death saving throws, they're out. They're gone. Unless your party is able to recover your body or enough of your body to be revived, which is usually very expensive, you're dead. You're going to have to reroll a character. Now, some settings work differently. If your character or your DM decides that there's some sort of extra that's keeping you on the world, they might have extra stuff written for you. I played a campaign once where we basically had an extra life. If we went down once, we basically got a connection to an element or something along those lines and managed to get back up. The second time was permanent though, and it was made abundantly clear. Yeah, getting revived, probably like 5,000 gold, if I remember. Level 2, you should probably be rocking maybe 100. And your loot, it's going to take you a while to actually recover enough to do something like that. But also, if you are stabilized, which clerics just have a cantrip that can do that, boom, spare the dying. You don't have to make death saving throws. If someone spares the dying on you and you're down, you don't have to keep making death saving throws. You're still unconscious unless you take healing, but you're not going to actually die, more than likely. Not a lot of creatures coup de grace, which is an actual kill. Sort of. Merton's fire poker, huh? And even if they do end up getting you in a bad situation or something like that, Mog, roll with it. Okay, Spicer. This is obviously a door. You agree? I think that you might be right because I can hear like a critter on the other side. I don't mind if you use the Discord name that I have, but I would prefer if you use Auri, Mog. It doesn't matter if you slip a couple times, though. I'm not gonna bite anybody's head off. And yeah, it looks like there's a door back there. It totally does. Yeah. You are a very good bean mog. Big stretch. Oh. It's fine with me. Auri, Miri, or the Exarch works. BT Dubs, what's up, Mog? Honk. Mog. I still have fond memories of those times when I would push old men off the top of mountains. Good times. Good times. Oh, hey, Spider. Welcome, welcome. I don't believe you, Mog. Sorry. Also, Spider, look, we actually have better armor now. We're not a basic adventurer anymore. We're a slightly less basic adventurer. Yeah. The only part I didn't find on the ground was the chess piece. Oh, man. Spicer, that skill sounds awesome. I don't know, but from what our friends Spicer and Clockwork have hinted at, yeah. Okay, Fifi, let's go get some sleep. Try not to dream of Eustace's face too much tonight. Yeah. I don't know where one is, Mog. Spicer, don't tell me either. And yeah, honestly, Bendy, I really like that the little lantern's just hanging out there. It seems like they wander around too. See, this is why I didn't believe you about the graybeards. You're obviously evil, Mog. Yeah, I like how you said that as soon as I set my pole arm on fire, Bendy. Yeah, Spicer's right. I'm literally just smearing oil on it and setting on fire. Okay, yeah, Benny's got another point there. The whole thing's on fire, not just the blade. Dude from Rurouni Kenshin. I have a vague memory of that. What's all the heckin' ghosts wandering around here? Like, you've already lost, dude. Give up. It's completely normal, Bendy. I don't know what you're talking about. Ooh, there's a season system? I did not know that there was a season system. That sounds kind of cool. Guess it's a good thing I'm carrying around some weather defense potions. I mean, come on. Like, it's not like I'm robbing graves. They already got up and are attacking me. Sounds like we're going to be fighting a whole bunch of pearl birds for you, Mog. Speaking of seasons. Huh. Pearl birds, the giant white chocobos, basically. I wonder how dangerous a basic bandit is to me right now. Not very. Eh. Eh. Yeah, I don't care. Whack. Give me that hammer. Oh, hi. Yeah. Yeah, I actually got armor that wasn't from the local village blacksmith spider. Ooh. 2 physical damage. I am beefy to physical damage. Yeah, just... Yeah, I don't think I have any actual resistance. I mean, I was planning on throwing them, but also there might be worth money. Pap, pap. Ooh. That sounds nice. Also... Oh, alright, Mog. See, well, or whatever it is you're doing. Be good at it. Eh. Bye, Mog. I like how the terrain's actually getting covered in snow. Ah, man, this team has so many good ideas. That's good. That's good, Mog. I know that feeling quite a bit myself. If I'm not careful, I'll end up staying up all night working on stuff. Peh! That's pretty good. Pokemon, go to heck to sleep. Night, night, Mog. Eee. Yeah, I am. Not too cold though. I've got a weather defense potion on. I should be able to make it to Sierra pretty easy. Mm-hmm. I carry all the teas with me. Yee. Hey, thanks for following, Spellforce. I appreciate you. That makes me very happy, Spicer. Honestly, like, I appreciate the support a lot. It's super fun hanging out with folks and basically just doing stuff. You're welcome anytime. Eh. I think you are probably right, though it may not update it until after the stream in question is done. Like, I wonder. I was gonna do that. Nope. It looks like it might just be borked then, because Spider has been here before. Okay, that's pretty good. Almost. Spicer Spicer learned that that's one of the criteria, and he's like, "We're doing this." Mm-mm. Aw. Like, seriously, I really appreciate it. Hey, thanks for following, Mitten. I appreciate you too. Mm-hmm. Gotta stay warm. We just got past Conflux, so just about there. Mm-hmm. I can agree with that. Like, getting somebody who can actually talk back is nice. I like talking to folks. Which it's not a bad thing. Some of the folks that I follow, they just have so many people there that it's hard to talk to all of them. But part of the reason that I want to do this is to talk to people. Which, I mean, more power to them. I think my head would explode if I had 9,000 watchers. But they're obviously doing something right. See, that's something that I'll probably try and make use of too. There's ways to sort of separate out chat, I believe. I'm not sure how it works, but that might be something I'll eventually look into. Aha! Right on a hackathon. Is that a piece of armor? I think. Rat on. I'm curious now. Yeah, because I know an actin is like a quilted. It's basically quilted armor. I did not know that that was Connor from Assassin's Creed 3, though. I need to finish raiding that place, too. Nope, I don't believe I did. I haven't fully explored any of the zones. A large part of the reason that I went into Emrakar Forest, this little marker right here, on one of my first streams, someone dropped by to basically say hi and and wanted me to head towards Emrakar first, so I did. Let's see, Chersonese. I hit this place a little bit. I've been through here. I cleared this place out. And I've been to the Vigil Pylon, but I haven't cleared it out. So I haven't gone much up to the... I went to the top of the Conflux and found a weird-looking sword. But I haven't been down through here. Yeah, it's on Steam, Bendy. This particular copy that I'm using isn't. And no, I didn't sell the sword. It's in my storage in Zerzo. Yep. I bought it off the Epic Store because it was on sale on the Epic Store when I wanted to get it. I imagine Steam takes a fairly decent cut, but the amount of exposure to a wider audience you get from Steam is not to be underestimated.
Greetings, friend.
Keeping that. Kind of want to keep that too. I will eventually use that. That's cool. You know, now that you mentioned that, I wonder why it's not an option on Epic. Mm-hmm.
Greetings, friend.
A giant key. Epic Games is pretty rad. I've gotten quite a few cool games off of it that have just been available and on sale.
What can I do for you? All right.
timed exclusives, fine, I guess. Complete exclusives? Go heck yourself. Thanks for following, Biscuit Girl. I appreciate you. Origin. Bleh. Kinda wonder. Ew. Still gonna keep it, but ew. Yeah, the free games that Epic keeps pumping out or going for it is pretty great. Okay. Okay. It's actually like a half an hour past when I would normally end the stream, but I don't want to stop playing. Gotta dance a little bit. It's my house. I saved a dude from a shrimp to get this. I kind of figured. It had flavor text. There's no way that wasn't something. Like, I've still got it. Yeah, generally. Spicer, you can tell me anything you want to. You feel free to. Try and keep it to where it doesn't spoil anything. Like, if it's something around a corner that I might have missed, go for it. But I like discovering things by myself, too. It'll be fun. Yeah, there you go. You know what I'm talking about. I didn't even need to say nothing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there something you need?
Okay, that's pretty rad. I like that. Mm.
Hey there.
Just one. I just deposited the one that I had in my storage. Spider's like, no! No, I do appreciate what Spicer's doing. If it's an item, I'm probably going to keep stuff like that, but it does. It's good to, if it seems like I'm thinking about selling something that would be useful, feel free to chime in.
Can I help you? Simple food can be cooked on a lit campfire.
Hints are good. I like hints.
What can I do? I wonder. What can I do for you? Listen.
Amber, my friend.
Hmm. Works for me. I don't know. I don't know much about magic in general, so I need to learn more about it. I saw that one of the trainers at Markar could teach me rune magic.
This is awful.
None of these are good options. The blood price is a stupid thing. I understand it was born out of a sort of necessity, but phew.
Oh no, oh no, oh no. Hmm.
I was gonna
This
do that.
is awful.
It's basically the exact same thing that your character did.
Greetings, friend.
You sell fish and fish accessories. Got it. Exarch trainers. There's my house. There's Ezan, water purifier. I'll actually talk to the important peeps. Now that I'm here again. Give me that. Boop. Boop. Petition to make Auri read things out loud. Oh dear. I don't know about in character, but I can read them if people want me to. I'm okay with that. A little bit of eats. Thank you, Spider. Let me see something real quick. Extensions. Okay. There should be a suggestion box at the bottom portion in the About Me section. If you want to add something to it, feel free. Should be. I'm still kind of new at this. Don't like whack me if it doesn't work right. I'll figure it out though. Yeah. So that's actually very clever. So this contraption is powered off those power cells. It's okay, Bendy. So this is powered off the power cells. It's got sand and seaweed and 2 filters. 3 filters. That's really clever, actually. That's a good idea. Seriously, if you have a suggestion for me to do something, pop it in that little box or tell me in chat. It's easier for me to keep track of it in the little box because I'm a forgetful bean. Welcome back, Shay.
I take it you've heard the news?
You're a good lurker,
See your
bean.
old pal off? I've got one little fishing barge to my name, and by a lot, the heroic kingdom believes in chasing progress to create a better world. Listen,
Why so far away?
Levant believes that everyone deserves a shot at what they're best at.
I I take it you're not going to forgive your brother, are you?
Not in 1,000 years.
Rough.
Well, that's just wonderful.
Okay, I'm gonna miss you, Zan. Wind be at your back. Whoa, that's gonna take some getting used to.
If you plan to make the journey to Levant completely on foot, be prepared for a long, long journey. If you have the courage to face the Abrasar Desert, I'll be waiting for you.
Also, look at this. Look at this main character looking chick. That is the first thing I said whenever I saw her. She's got a glowing white sword. She's the son, not son, why did I say son? She's the daughter of the village elder. And she's gonna go join a holy crusade. Literally the main character right there.
I guess this is goodbye. I'm leaving this place to join the holy mission.
Sears will miss you, Leo.
I'll miss it too. Risa has done some things I can't agree with. I can't talk about it. All right, listen.
I'll think about it.
Excellent. The holy mission is about more than just working under a manifested god. Have discipline and mastery over yourself. I wonder... If you do want to join us, meet me in Monsoon, in the hallowed marsh. Once in the marsh, follow the pilgrim road.
I do like lore. But this particular character, because I kind of like putting on the skin of a character whenever I play them. Your character has been significantly harmed by tradition and convention. So I'm not sure. It would take some rationalization for them to actually go into something like that. A pitchfork, the mightiest of peasant weapons. It's rejecting that tradition, but it's embracing a whole other slew of traditions.
Greetings, friend. Lend me your ear. As a matter of fact, I could use a brash explorer for something. Here's what I need.
Rare mushroom, shape of a shield.
You'll know it if you find it. Perfect. Make sure you have a good weapon, a lantern, and plenty of supplies. Lend me your ear.
I'll
I'll
leave you to
see
your
you.
work. Alright. I think I'll probably visit each place before I choose a faction or anything like that. So it's gonna be a while. It's kind of neat. Like I said, the only time I've ever played this game is basically on the PlayStation 4, and I did not get out of Chersonese. I'm definitely going to be taking my time. This is probably going to be a game that I'm going to be playing on stream for a long time. Yes, I have the DLCs. And I do have a request to play Fatal Frame on the PlayStation 2 emulator, so I'll probably make that probably on Wednesdays. And the rest of those times will be Outward. And until something changes, that'll probably be my schedule.
There you are. Urgent news just came in. This is troubling. I'm going to Berg, the main settlement in the Enmakar forest. I have an offer. I will pay off the rest of your blood price and adopt you into the Aberdeen bloodline.
Ma'am, that's shady as hell. Sure, Spicer. If you can put together something like that, I would be happy to take a look into it and see if it'll work with what I got set up for the streaming.
It's complicated. The Blue Chamber Collective is about coming together as a family.
Is that the name of this continent? Auri? Seriously, I did not plan that.
Well then,
Alright, so on record, didn't plan that, didn't know that.
it's your choice. Your life is in your hands. You will need to prepare travel rations.
Yep.
Well then. Here's what you need to know.
Nah. I don't think I'm gonna join Miss Aberdeen. I mean, no joke. This game really does click with me quite a bit. I love games like this. What I'll probably do, Spicer, is I'm definitely going to be playing this for a while. I'll probably see if I can do a playthrough for each different faction, and subsequent playthroughs, I'm going to be doing hardcore playthroughs, sort of like a challenge. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead... Really? I'm gonna guess that has something to do with the legacy option that I couldn't really do anything with when I made the character. What am I looking for? Oh yeah, I need a Trog shield. That's neat. Good. I'm glad, Ochidoji. Thank you for hanging out, too. You're a good bean. Oh, I don't want to stop playing. So, typically, my schedule, I will stream from 8 p.m. CST to 10 p.m. CST, and it is almost 11 p.m. CST. And you'll notice that I'm still not logging out of the game. I will beat up the Trogs, take their mushroom shield, because I'm pretty sure that's what she's talking about. And then I'll close up the stream for today. Because I need to have a snack and drink a little bit. And yeah, those two things, basically. Whack. Whack. No. Phew. You don't have to do that, Spicer, but I do appreciate it. Like, the emulator is not a requirement for you to continue to sit and hang out with us. Just to throw that out there. This place might still be clear from when I ransacked it last time. I agree with your motivation there, Spicer. Having a puzzle in your hands or something to use or play with, yee. You and Spider too, it looks like. Yep, this is respawned. Almost made me feel bad. Hey! Cool. I took a gamble that that second door was going to be something like a sapphire, and my gamble paid off. Yeah. I didn't figure it would hurt. I had two of them, so if it didn't work, I could just sell them. Thank you, Spider. It's good to know. So, going off the blacksmith comment, this stuff respawns every 3 days then? Come on, do your little chargy thing. I know you want to. Come on. Do your thing. Cool. So that means... Nah, no. Okay, if Mog was here, I could show him what an ash giant is. Don't need iron. It's good to know. 7 in-game days. Oh no, it's 2 of them. Ah, it feels good. Yeah. That's fair. Everybody thinks about things like that a little bit differently. Spoilers can enrage some folks, but others it just doesn't really matter to them. I'm sure that they've all had one of those times just like, don't spoiler me! Which, yeah, especially for like a book or something like that. No, don't tell me things. It's fun to know things. There's the wizard boy. I remember you. Oh. Taking this. Heavy. I haven't really used my gun very much recently. Sure, I'll take all of it. Phew. Getting heavy though. That's pretty rad, Spider. I don't have any coding experience. The closest I've come to Unity and design is making this little poppet here, which is me. Yep. I did, I did. Thank you. Pixel art's rad as hell. Okay? Pixel art's rad as hell. Mm-hmm. I would recommend the XP Pen Artist 12. That's what I used. It's a good mid-range one. It's about $200. Yeah. So, Spider, generally what I do here is I refine my little poppet every weekend, basically. I make changes and stuff. If you look at some of my early VODs, you'll see a different version of this. Go for it. Mm-hmm. So, a large portion of all this is figuring out how to make me do the things that I want to. Like, I've got face tracking and stuff like that, the blinking, all that jazz. Patch notes are always interesting to read. And this is actually a full model, too. Like, I've got hands and stuff. Auri model patch notes, huh? Did they catch you off guard a little bit? some nice little loots in here. I agree very much, actually. So one of the main upgrades that I want to get is I can only do so much with some of the tracking that I have available. The best face tracking currently is restricted to iPhones, basically. Their face tracking is just leagues above other available options. Yeah, a little bit. But I think I've done a pretty good job of what I've got here so far. Well, I mean, Apple has their place. And for what it's worth, there's a reason. Like, their face tracking is just better than anything else. It basically has more points for it to reference off of. It's the same stuff they use for the facial recognition for locks on their phones. You can get a app that uses that same stuff. You translate that app into a program that can track things, and voila. iPhones are expensive. They are. The hardware itself is not worth the price. But there is a reason people are willing to pay that much for them. Or at least were. They've kind of gone downhill. Mm-hmm. Cost value is important. Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially not for like a yearly iteration. I wouldn't drop a large amount of money on a yearly iteration for any reason, really. What I would probably end up doing if I were to switch to iPhone tracking is to get a hold of one that's basically an aftermarket one, because I don't need it to be a phone. And it doesn't have to be a absolutely new one either.
Greetings, friend.
I'll sell that because it's about to go bad. Yeah, Bendy, like, no, not $1,000. Heh. Also, I don't have $1,000. Dang it.
Greetings, friend. Lend me your ear. I'm always interested in curiosities.
Okay.
What have you got? Lend me your ear. You've earned this. I'll see you.
What is she after? It's okay, Spider. I have a heart garnet in my storage chest in the lighthouse. Yep. I was actually considering that too. I'm wondering if she'll look at the power cell too. And we will huck those in there. I'll actually put the gun up too, because I haven't had much use for it recently. It's just extra weight at the moment. Also, Benny, was it like a more recent one, or is it just like an S2 or something like that for $100? Okay, that's good, depending on when he got it. It's still pretty darn good. Welcome back, Spider. Oop.
Greetings, friend. Lend me your ear. I'm always interested in curiosity. Oh, an interesting piece.
30 silver. Nah.
No deal then. Please reconsider the offer. I'll see you.
Makes sense. I'm trying to get a Chinese branded lockdown phone to play nice with anything outside of China would probably be pretty difficult. Yeah, I think yes. What I would what I would probably do is grab an aftermarket one and then get rid of, air quotes, its cell reception and Wi-Fi. Because I would only need it as a camera. Yeah, I'm not selling the garnet to that lady for $30. What does she think I am? Yep, I believe so, Spicer. It was a request by one of the folks that likes to drop by. Stretch. if they were to sell a camera, Bendy, it would be like $800, and the price would never go down. If there's a second Fatal Frame too, and you can get a hold of it in the same batch, go for it. I'll play through both of them. How much is 1 hour? Yep, PlayStation 2. Okay. I think, as much as I want to actually continue playing this game, I think I'll actually call it for tonight, gentlemen. I'm getting kind of sleepy, and I need to eat or be a person or whatever, I guess. Yeah, it was absolutely lots of fun. I really enjoyed talking to you guys. Feel free to stop by every day if you want to. Yeah. It's good. I want to be a sort of person you can stop by and play a game with, talk to. It's fun. Remember, if you have any suggestions or anything, or honestly, if there's a game that you want to suggest me trying to play, feel free. Plop it in the suggestion box. I'm crossing my fingers, Spider. I would really like to hit 50 next stream. We're super close. And I'm glad you decided to come out of your hermit shell a little while, Spicer. It's been a pleasure to meet you. I... I mean... I'll play it. I'm not a scaredy cat, but I don't want to get stabbed, if that makes sense. I'm glad you did too. Clockwork was the one that convinced me to post it in the Outward one too. Because I wanted to be a part of the community a little bit longer before I started trying to get people to watch me. You know what I mean? Yeah. Clockwork is a good bean. Yeah. I plan to play pretty much all types of games. Like, I've got a playthrough of Sundered I've done, which is pretty rad. And I've played Risk of Rain, Outward. Any game that I really find myself interested in, I'll probably stream it for a while. Outward's probably going to be the largest portion of it for quite a while. But Wednesdays will probably be stuff like Fatal Frame and other requested games. We can do Valheim, yeah. I don't have Dark Souls 2 on my computer, actually. Dark Souls 2 is pretty great, but I sort of put like 1,200 hours into it when it first came out. Yeah, I liked it. Yee. Alright, guys. I look forward to seeing you guys show up tomorrow if you would like. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, okay? Stay safe.